you know.
Well, Trump just blew past. He just the one thing that we'll have to say about him is he said, I could shoot someone on Fifth Avenue and my people wouldn't give a shit. He actually is an adjudicated rapist on Fifth Avenue. A court of competent jurisdiction, a judge said by any common definition of the word rape, you raped that woman.
This is the dressing room one?
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, that may have happened, but I mean...
But a jury in a court said it did.
That fucking means nothing to me, because I know what they know, which is nothing. They know two people said two different things about something that happened in the 90s, and of which there's no witnesses or tape.
But you know
so
what?
I can't, look, I hate Donald Trump as much as anybody, but I can't say for sure I just know that. Just because 9 people said they think that, I can't.
First of all,
but yes,
they had more evidence. In other words,
did?
Yes. So she told me
what was
this happened.
What was the evidence?
Other people that she told contemporaneous with it.
Well,
which
you know,
whatever. A jury said that
you know
did.
what? You know more about this case than apparently I do, and maybe if I knew everything, I would be completely.
I know that a jury.
Yeah.
I tend to have more faith in most people. In juries, I think most of them really try to weigh what's there, and I do know that a jury. But now I'm going to get too technical here, but by a preponderance of the evidence.
Right.
It's a little bit of a different standard in a criminal case. It's beyond a reasonable doubt.
Yeah, I'm admitting, I didn't know that there was...
Buckle up, folks. This wasn't your average political chat. When Bill Maher and James Carville shared the stage, it didn't take long before civility flew out the window and the verbal gloves came off. Carville launched straight into the deep end, saying bluntly, "Not all Trump supporters are racists, but every racist seems to have found a cozy home under Trump's tent." That line alone lit a fire under the conversation. According to Carville, the GOP has mutated no longer the old-school business-class conservatism of the Reagan era, but a chaotic arena where right-wing populism reigns. It's a full-blown competition to out-crazy Trump, with characters like Ron DeSantis and Vivek Ramaswamy treating extremism like a sport. But Maher wasn't about to give the left a free pass. He zoomed out and torched the progressive wing for its own brand of zealotry, cancel culture, ideological purges, and the kind of purity tests that mirror the very MAGA culture they claim to detest. The shared conclusion: America's political discourse is in a death spiral. Partisan loyalty has eclipsed pragmatism. These days, Republicans aren't just fighting Democrats, they're treating them like existential enemies, Russia-level enemies. This wasn't a casual sit-down. It was a grim, clear-eyed assessment of a system on fire. If you're clinging to any hope for civil debate, this conversation was the equivalent of a 5-alarm warning bell. Strap in, we're breaking it all down, one truth bomb at a time.
There is a genius to his madness, and the thing I always say about Trump, you have to remember, he's stupid and crazy, and they're two completely different things. And this is like the crazy part works for him because he's without a mechanism to edit or to pull back. So, you know, as my friend Jimmy always says, insanity photographs. You can't take your eyes off him. Obviously, whenever they put him on TV, the ratings go through the roof. And that's why. Insane people are charismatic. You can't look away. So when he does all this, I mean, not just sexual stuff, but certainly the sexual stuff, it's like, I'm going to own, no one else in the world would even think of this as a strategy. And he has no strategy. It's just what he feels. He's all id. But to own that, to own being this kind of guy, and half the country likes it. Or at least it's not a deal breaker because they feel like it's honest.
At least he's honest. He says what he thinks. Right now,
yeah.
He doesn't have to. The thing really like is he tells you it's okay if you hate other people. And he validates what that guy says. I like because he says what I think.
Well, he plays on the fact that his people think that your people hate them and look down on them and see them as deplorables. I mean, I think they
you know, there's some truth to that.
Oh, there's a lot of truth. to it.
And I'm as good a Democrat
Yes,
as the
you
next
are.
person. But you hear this shit, so
This wasn't two cranky pundits whining over coffee. It was a surgical dissection of how tribalism has hijacked American politics. Carville and Maher didn't just talk about dysfunction, they exposed it. The notion of civil disagreement. Dead these days, your political affiliation isn't just a belief system, it's your social identity, your tribe, your reputation. Stray 1 inch from party doctrine, and you're excommunicated. Maher, a veteran in roasting both left and right, nailed it. The game is no longer about persuasion. It's about performance. Everyone's auditioning for their side's approval, wrapped in layers of smug moralism and ideological cosplay. On the left, it's about being ideologically spotless. On the right, it's about nationalist swagger. The uniforms are different, but the energy is the same, toxic. And Carville didn't hold back. Americans, he warned, are more obsessed with passing loyalty litmus tests than passing effective legislation. Meanwhile, the media has traded journalism for rage bait. We're not getting more informed, we're getting more furious. Facts are secondary. Outrage is king. The cost. Compromise is now considered treason. Political rivals aren't opponents, they're enemies of the state. Both Maher and Carville agreed. If this pattern holds, we're heading toward irreversible polarization. America isn't just divided, it's calcified. But they didn't leave it there. They dared us to do the unthinkable. Step outside the echo chamber. Listen to those we disagree with. It's messy, uncomfortable, and essential. Because if we don't, the spiral continues, and next time, there might not be a way back.
confesses.
And confesses to them. And like, I got rid of the FBI director because there was a lot of pressure on me. Like, yes, that's your interior monologue. There's a lot of pressure on me because the FBI's looking into me for good reason. You don't say, so I invited the Russians in. I mean, like, it's so beyond it. This is
Look
not.
at the Russian ambassador showing him top secret shit. He was showing a guy in
It's just-
Bedminster, look at these.
But I mean, he does one a day, or he did when he was president, like something that only a nut would do. It's amazing to me that we lived through those 4 years, because when I look back on it, and of course the Trump people say, oh, you know, you have Trump derangement syndrome, and yeah, he blew up the world, right, Bill? I don't, you know, you're right, he didn't blow up the world. I still think he could, okay? Is that completely crazy that I think a crazy person could blow up the world? No.
The shit that he did is like stunning.
I'm saying, I know.
The documents case, if you stop and you think about it, like one time,
Like, I could read 1,000 tweets that are just insane that just went by. I remember there was one that said he was mad at China, and he said, I hereby, like he's the king, I hereby order all American companies to immediately, you know, work on a plan to change your, he was like ordering them to get out of China. I hereby order. And again, that's just insane that nobody else would even think to do that. But he doesn't think. That's his insanity and his attraction to people.
Let me ask you a question. Okay, history eventually finds out. They find this asshole Pius XII. They found the letter where they told him they were gassing.
The Pope during World War II?
Yeah. All right. We know from history he's been outed, I guess is what you would say.
Right.
Do you think, with all the history is known, would you guess that the Russians have compromise on Trump, or that's just liberal factors?
I have always said that the Russian hoax theory is a hoax. Plainly, there was something going on between Russia and Trump. It was not perhaps, first of all, I always thought Mueller blew.
James Carville didn't rise through the ranks of cutthroat American politics by playing nice. He's seen the guts of the machinand. He's not here to deliver bedtime stories. He broke it down with the bluntness of a battlefield general. In politics, your enemies define you just as much as your allies. It's not about feelings, it's about winning, and winning demands clarity. Who's backing you? Who's gunning for you? In Carville's world, survival means knowing both. Then came the real gut punch. His warning to Democrats was loud and clear. Stop underestimating Donald Trump. Sure, he's surrounded by scandal, courtrooms, and chaos, but he's still an electoral juggernaut. His power doesn't come from policy, it comes from grievance. Trump has a sixth sense for channeling the rage of Americans who feel left behind by elites. Carville, practically shouting from the rafters, begged Democrats not to make the same mistake again. Mock Trump all you want, but laugh too hard, and you'll be picking your jaw off the floor on election night. He skewered his own party's habit of trading strategy for self-righteousness, celebrating minor policy wins and demographic shifts, like the wars already won. Meanwhile, Trump is building an empire from every attack, every indictment, every insult. He doesn't need a coherent plan, just enemies to fuel the fire. The press, the courts, the DNC, they all become co-stars in his comeback tour. Carville's message: this isn't a morality play, it's political combat. Democrats don't need to become Trumpette, they'd better stop treating politics like a sermon. Trump isn't unbeatable, but if they keep acting like he's already finished, they're writing the script for their own defeat. Carville's not just offering commentary, he's sounding the alarm. Tune it out, and brace yourself for what comes next.